and he sticks out the BB gun. Sticks out the fucking gun, chat, outside a little thing, right into the crotch of Joe Pesci, chat, and he fires that. And right at the start, chat, it obliterates Joe Pesci's ball and peen, chat. Boom, takes them both out, all three things, chat. The sack and the peen. And so now, chat, he is Ken doll smooth down. He's like, ah! And he's just screaming his fucking head out. He's like, oh my God, there's blood everywhere. It's a massacre. It's like, Jesus Christ. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know, not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch, where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video.
A family comedy without the family. Home Alone.
Let's go ahead, chat, and get into Home Alone, chat. The John Hughes, Chris Columbus directed Christmas holiday family feature, chat. Starring Macaulay Culkin, made his goddamn career, chat. This is what it started as a child star. This is what brought him to prominence, chat. He did do other movies before this. He did, chat. Notably, Uncle Buck, chat. He did that wonderful film with John Candy, which I absolutely love. Uncle Buck is a goddamn masterpiece to me, chat. It's one of the best family films of absolutely all time. Love that film. But Home Alone was the one that brought him to prominence. And a number of directors. I think this is also kind of Chris Columbus's big break. This is the one that's like, oh shit. And that's when you start seeing Chris Columbus get all these big projects and directed the first two Harry Potter films, still working to this day, chat. Most recently directed the Christmas Chronicles Part 1 and 2. I'm sure he has other things lined up as well. But chat, typically I like to ask you a question before we go ahead and start reviewing this movie. How many of you have seen the 1990, no, that's the sequel. I'm thinking of Home Alone 2, chat. How many of you have seen the 1990 classic Home Alone? I am very, very curious. Show me. All right. Dark Slayer just, so who we got? Glee's like, me! Because there's like, yep. Did you watch Home Alone earlier? Or Kids Die Hard? Yeah, it's childhood Die Hard, yep. Directed Pixels. Oh, shit, I didn't know he directed that. Now you know, because there's like, oh, yes. I've seen it every Christmas. It is considered a Christmas classic. So I totally understand. I've seen it multiple times. Film Noob, I have many times. I barely remember. I'm gonna remind you of it, Naya, bro. I'm gonna remind you of it. So maybe me many times. Duma, I saw it. Film Noob, of course, my cousin and I watch all the time when we were kids. Ed Man watched it multiple times. Film Noob watched Home Alone so much as a kid, I wore out the VHS. Oh, Jesus. But only after see this one. There we go. Clad. Hi, everyone. Good to see you, Clad. Hope you're doing very well. He's one of the producers for Scoob. Yes, he was. I saw that shiz during his theatrical run, says Dad. Wow, okay. This movie came out 1 year before I was born, but I much like you guys, I have seen this film multiple times, especially during my youth chat when I was a young, fresh baby boy. I watched this movie quite often, definitely during the holidays chat. It was one of those quintessential movies, even when it was on television. Like, Home Alone's on. That's just a good quality film chat, a great family film. So I'm very intimately aware of the specific details of this movie, chat. And I'm a fan of the film. Like, you know, it's watching it again recently. It has aged very well. Like Macaulay Culkin, he's good in the movie. There is a little. There are some scenes in the film where he's a kid actor, he's a child actor, chat. So he's a little stilted in his delivery, but for the most part, he does a good job of selling it, chat. He absolutely does. Like, there is a charisma to Macaulay Culkin as a kid. That's why he went on to a lot of great success in the early part of his career. I'm not sure what he's doing now. I guess I don't really sure what he's doing, but he seems to be in a good place, chat. It's funny. He recently came back in the news, chat, because he was like, yes, I would also sign the petition to remove Donald Trump from Home Alone 2. Get rid of his fucking cameo. And apparently Donald Trump even bullied his way onto the set because he wanted to be a part of the movie. It's like, well, the movie's all about New York. I'm Mr. New York, so I should be a part of this fine cinema feature film, Home Alone 2. I'm going to be the best character in the movie. You're going to remember my scene. It's going to be wonderful. Okay? I'm going to get a lot of critical acclaim. Macaulay Culkin's like, yeah, fuck that guy. He heard years later just how much of a piece of shit he was to work with on set. So he's just like, I very much am raising my hand in unison with everyone else to remove his orange Cheeto dusted ass from that film, chat. So he came back in the nose recently. Thank you, because of the 5 minutes. Yeah, he wouldn't let them shoot at the hotel unless he got a cameo, and he bought it up after they already paid the fee. What a prick. There you go, chat. There you go. There you go. The evidence right there, chat. And this is what a terrible human being. We should have realized it. We should have realized back then how Donald Trump was a piece of shit and the way he bullied his way into the set of Home Alone 2. Absolutely awful. But no, I mean, he seems to be in a better place. I know he said recently, he's like, I'm 40 now. Everyone like, oh, I've aged. I think Macaulay Culkin, I think, is now 40 years old, which is crazy to think about, chicks. I think we always think of Macaulay Culkin. He's just that young kid. He is this. I think for every time you say Macaulay Culkin, chat, we think of the, just that. But now he is a fucking 40-year-old man. So it's just interesting, chat. But no, I've always been a fan of this original film and some of other Macaulay Culkin's work. But this is kind of like the crown jewel, if you will, in the Macaulay Culkin crown, chat. But now, my friends, actually, to give you a brief history on the critical commercial success of this movie, chat. It was a critical hit. Audiences and critics loved it, chat, in unison. And this movie made a lot of fucking money, chat. This was, for a long time, the most successful comedy in the United States, I think until The Hangover. It was till one of the Hangover films. I forget which one. It was the second one or the first one. But this movie shot an $18 million budget. It went over budget, so the studio wasn't happy about it at all, chat. But it had a box office of $476.7 million, chat. This was fucking huge. Of course, it made the career of Macaulay Culkin, chat. Went on to do various other films throughout the 90s and early 2000s, chat, before it's kind of like retirement from films in general and from public life, although he seems to be coming back now. To a degree. And obviously established the Home Alone franchise, chat. They did do Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, which I just remember. It's like, oh, it's the same movie, except he's in New York now. It's literally what it is. And then 3, which I think was with a different kid, but it takes place in the same street as Kevin, which is weird. And then they did a 4th one, which I don't know what the 4th one's about. I think the 4th one is like another kid, or did they say that's Kevin? I don't know, chat. I don't think the 3rd and 4th one matter, chat. I'm not even a big fan of the set. It's literally the same movie, except it's just in a new location. It's exactly what it is. How the fuck did goddamn Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern also be there in the same location as Kevin is beyond me, but they did, chat. A lot of coincidences in the movie, chat. A lot of coincidences, chat. But no, we got to go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty details, chat, of the original Home Alone film, chat. We start off with Chris Columbus, John Hughes fanfare, chat, where we see the little animated Kevin Mcallister's chat. First, I'm going to say this. I don't know what the fucking McAllisters do for a living, what Kevin McAllister's dad does, but he's making the fucking money, chat. He's got like 5 kids. Him and his wife got like 5 kids. Kevin's like the youngest. And, but they live in it's practically a fucking mansion, chat, what they're living in. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, this is very expensive. Whatever he does, international traveling, going to France all the goddamn time, like, they're making money. And the fact that Kevin's always complaining, my life sucks. Your life does not fucking suck. Shut the fuck. Listen, I'm going to be on the adult side, chat. Fuck Kevin. I'm going to be his goddamn uncle. Look what you did, you little jerk. Because Kevin, chat, he's a piece of shit in this film. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want him to be horrifically murdered by Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, because they were going to torture him to death at one point in the film, chat. But I'm just like, you know what? Fuck this kid. He has no sense of morality. He's selfish. He can't do anything, chat. I'm like, God, you're a fucking, he literally is, as they say in the film, he's a disease, all right? You should appreciate what your goddamn father and your mother provide for you. You live in a goddamn mansion all the time, and all you do is complain. You bitch and you moan, and that's all Kevin does, chat. It's annoying. It's so annoying, chat. So I'm very much on the side of the family. If I was like, you know what, forget him. I'm glad he's home alone, all right? I want to enjoy fucking Paris. And now they got to fucking ship their asses back, you know, because they got to see, like, oh, maybe he's not going to be okay. He's going to be fucking fine. That I could tell you. I'm on Buzz's side. Buzz is a piece of shit. But I was like, you know what? I have to agree with Buzz. I have to agree with this Neanderthal-esque human that, yeah, you know what? He should be by himself for a little while. He should learn to grow the fuck up. Even though Buzz doesn't have a goddamn legs to stand on, chat, because he's have everything fucking, fed to him, soft-served to him for fucking years. She'll live in that mansion. So, fuck the whole family. I don't give a shit. But no. We open up, chat, with John Hughes, Chris Columbus, animated fanfare. Got like the house there. It's like the logo. It's like that classic, logo, chat, where you have the house and the yellow windows, and we're easing into it. And then, oh my God, it becomes a real house. It becomes a real house, chat. And shenanigans are afoot because everyone's fucking yelling inside the house, chat. And who's the first character we're introduced to? a police officer, chat, played by Joe motherfucking Pesci, chat, and he is trying to get a hold of somebody, chat, but no one's interacting with him. He's like, "Excuse me, are your parents are home?" And you get all these little goddamn kids and teenagers, chat, just going all around the fucking. It's a nightmare. Yeah, I'm already angry. I was like, oh, I'm just anxious watching the scene because there's so much yelling, there's so much shouting, there's so much back talk to each other that you can't get a word in. And neither can Joe Pesci, chat. And you know, I love in the film that Joe Pesci wants to swear, but he can't. He does a lot of he says a lot of that, chat, because obviously, you know, Joe Pesci, he, much like Samuel L. Jackson, chat, he has a way with the with swearing, chat. Saying motherfuck, all sorts of other you know, bad words, chat. He's a goddamn poet, all right, with salty language. But he's not able to use this, because this is a childhood film. Okay, this is a PG-rated movie. All right, so you can't use that. So he does a lot of Raja Fraj. You should just know. I want one of these motherfucking kids to talk to me, but no one's talking to him, chat. He's just fucking stressed out, trying to find a parent. He's just like, it's just a fucking. This is just kids living here. It's just a fancy orphanage. He can't believe himself, chat. But we then cut to the bedroom, chat. We cut to the bedroom of Mrs. and Mrs. Mcallister, chat. Okay, they're packing. The family is doing a family vacation to France. Apparently, part of Kevin McAllister's dad's job is that, you know, I don't know what the fuck he sells, what he does. He makes a lot of money, and apparently, chat, one of the benefits of it, he's able to fly to France for, like, nothing. Like, you can just send the whole fucking family, which would be incredibly expensive. This is an expensive trip, but apparently you can go over there very, very cheap. And that's what they're going to do for the holidays, chat. They're going to go to El Paris, you know, for the Christmas holidays into the New Year and everything. That sounds fucking great. I love espionage. He's involved in espionage. That must be what it is. And him and his wife are packing. Of course, they're doing the wrong thing, chat. They're packing the night before. Stupid. When you have that many people there, chat, you got to pack days ahead of time. You got all these little whiny brats, you know, walking around and stumbling, chat. Half of them came and fucking walked to get these big, dumb, swollen heads filled with all the water, chat. And they're just fucking bonking in the walls and shit. It's too stressful. And so the fact that you're packing so late is stupid, all right? You brought this trauma upon yourselves. I don't care about them. But, chat, I did have some sympathy, chat, because now they must deal with Kevin McAllister. And Kevin McAllister will not leave anybody alone. All he does is fucking complain. When he goes to the room because he's getting bullied by all the older kids, he's like, "Mom, Dad, fucking everyone's bullying me. I want to make sure I get the cheese pizza. It's very important. I need the cheese pizza." And they're like, "Kevin, listen, we got to pack right now. We can't deal with you." And he's like, "Ugh," and he fucking flops on top of the suitcase, just like laying there. And the mom's like, "Kevin, please, just get off my things." He's like, "Oh no," and he's just being a little shit. And she's giving a lot of back talk to mom and dad and everything. And it's like, I just want someone to help me, okay? And fucking mom's like, "You got to help yourself, Kevin." And, you know, dad's like, "Listen, you know, Kevin, you know what you can do to help right now? You can pick up your fucking micro machines off the floor, okay?" And fucking Aunt Edna, what the hell her name was, she nearly broke her goddamn neck. And, you know, Kevin McAllister looking at his dad with no emotion on his face. So he wanted chat. I think that was the part of the plan, was to break Aunt Edna's neck. He feels nothing for these human meatbags, chat. You are nothing but my playthings. They might as well be his micro machines, chat. But he says, "Go ahead and clean those up." And the mom says, "And pack your suitcase." And Kevin hears is just like, "Pack my own suitcase? Am I a peasant? How dare you say that, chat?" And so he's just begging people to help him pack his suitcase. His older brother, his older sister, they're like, "No, leave us no. Dude, we packed our own shit. Just do it yourself." He's like, "I don't even know what to pack. I don't know what to do. When I go for a trip, you know, to the many amusement parks that I've gone, many of the vacations, everything is just there prepared for me. What the fuck am I supposed to do?" He's like, "Just ask Buzz. You know, he can go over the essentials, just toilet paper and water," because the one brother's an idiot. And he's like, "That doesn't seem, but there should be more involved than toilet paper and water." He's like, "God, Kevin, you're such a disease." And then all the sisters just like, "Just leave us alone. Talk to Buzz." And then we cut to the bedroom chat of Buzz. Which, funny enough, this actor, chat, weirdly, he did a movie, which I've seen clips from, which he played a character who is obsessed with former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, chat. She worked for the Bush administration, and his whole movie was about him being weirdly obsessed with her and sexually attracted to her, chat, and stalking her. It's an odd fucking film. I've talked about it one other time on my stream chat, but I was like, oh yeah, it's that guy. Has not changed. He looks exactly the same, chat. Just got a little more scruff on his face. And Buzz, chat, he's packing all his shit. And he got one of his nerdy cousins who's playing with his tarantula, chat. And he's like, well, who's gonna feed your tarantula? And Buzz is like, oh, don't worry about it. I just fed him like a whole bunch of wet, moist. He had a lot of emphasis on the moist word, chat. Mouse guts. He'll be good for the next several weeks. He goes, okay. And then who fucking comes in, though? Fucking Kevin. And Kevin's just like, Buzz, I know how to pack my suitcases. Why you asking me? Ask Mom and Dad. They said I got to pack up myself. He's like, goddamn right. You should take some responsibility for yourself, Kevin. You can't always come in here and ask me for everything, okay? And you shouldn't be in here anyway. This is a man's room. It's a man's room, which is like a man's room, chat, even though he has all this sorts of fucking action figures and a very large picture of Michael Jordan, chat. I believe he is a person who plays the basketball. I've been told he plays the basketball, chat, which is part of the sports ball, pantheon of sports. He's got that in there, chat. And so he's got his priorities straight, chat. He's packing the most important things: giant Michael Jordan cutout and action figures. Buzz knows the essentials. But Kevin's just like, I just don't. He's like, God damn it, you're just so useless. You're just so useless, chat. But then Buzz looks out the window and goes, forget you. Look. And they see, who do they see outside the window, chat? The old man of the block, chat. This old man, all he does is salt the sidewalks. And he does a very kind deed, but he's like, nah, Buzz, that's a fucking facade. Oh, that's old man Stevens. I don't know what the fuck the character's name is, chat. That's Old Man Stevens. And Old Man Stevens, he killed his family 20 years ago. He killed his family in half the block. And Kevin and the cousin are like, how the fuck how did he get away with it? And he says there wasn't enough evidence to convict him. So he's just, Old Man, that's right, Old Man Marley. I love it. Old Man Marley. And, there's not enough evidence to convict him. And apparently he hid the body so thoroughly. But it's said that, what he does is he puts them into the salt barrels so they'll become mummified. And Kevin's like, fuck mummies. Oh, shit, not mummies, chat. Are mummies going to be involved? And he does these kindly acts as a facade. And the old man, he looks up from his shovel and chat, and he looks directly into the soul of Buzz and absorbs his sweet, supple soul. He's like, oh, shit, Buzz is dead. But no, they hide it, chat, and the old man's like, I hate those fucking kids. And I would hate them too, old man. They're pieces of shit. And, Kevin's just like, I can't believe that's real. He's like, yeah, now if you don't fucking do what Mom and Dad or what I tell you, then Old Man Marley will come for you, and he'll salt your body until you're mummified. And Kevin's like, fuck. Then, meanwhile, chat, we cut back down to Joe Pesci, who was just still trying to get a hold of a kid. And he's talking to these two derpy kids, chat. They got these thick glasses on. And it's like, these guys, they look a little inbred. These kids look a little inbred, chat. And he's trying to communicate. Do you have parents? And they're just like, is there an adult here? Nothing is being, not conveying information to Joe Pesci. He's like, all right, I don't know. And then eventually he gets one of the older daughters, and he asks, excuse me, are your parents, excuse me, do you have parents? She goes, of course I have parents. And he goes, are they here? And she goes, no, they're in parents. He's like, I just need to talk to an adult. And everyone, Kevin, he finally packs all of his stuff, chat. Finally packs all of his stuff, but he's just like, I don't know if this is right. And he just fucking flips the fuck out, chat, and he throws his shit down the stairs right at the feet of Joe Pesci, which is very rude, chat. It's very rude. Almost crushed poor little Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci, as we all know, chat, is about the same height as Macaulay Culkin. They're both like 4'2". And so if this bag fell upon him, he would be dead, chat. He would be dead. And we can't have that because the movie just got started. And so he's just like, Jesus Christ, these goddamn kids. And Macaulay Culkin, he's just stamping on the goddamn top of the stairs, and Mom and Dad come out. It's like, Kevin, just stop doing this. Eventually, Dad, he walks downstairs, chat. But oh no, fucking the pizza has arrived at the pizza, and we cut outside to the pizza delivery boy, chat, and he hits the running gag, and there's a visual gag in the movie where they keep hitting the stupid fucking statue they have right out there, hits it, boom. And it's like, shit, that's not good. And the guy's like, fuck, and he puts it back on there, chat. And Nino's Pizza is 20 minutes delivery, or you get it for free, chat. And he's like, it's pizza time. And Tom McGuire worked for this company, he would suck. But he takes out all the pizzas. A lot of pizzas, by the way. And I imagine, chat, and this is thankfully, even though this takes place in Chicago, they are thin sliced pizzas. Even Chicagoans won't eat deep dish, chat. They don't want to partake in the pizza frozen soup. And that is Chicago deep dish pizza. But he eventually goes to the door, knocking on it. Joe Pesci, lets him in. And he goes, okay, yeah, I'll be $120. He's like, I didn't order the pizza. I'm just trying to get a hold of somebody. And eventually, Kevin Mcallister's dad comes down the stairs, and he starts talking with the pizza delivery boy and everything. But then he gets distracted. But the Joe Pesci's like, excuse me, sir, I need to talk to you. He's like, what's up? He's like, listen, I'm going to all these houses. You know, I know a lot of people during the holidays are typically, they're going out. There's a lot of burglaries around here. Just want to make sure that I believe your family's leaving. Well, I just want to make sure that, will you be gone? Is there any security systems here? And Kevin's dad's is like, oh, yeah, I mean, we got the standard security systems. They go on automatically at 9. And he's like, Joe Pesci's like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. No, that's a very good idea. And the dad, he walks away and shit. And Kevin, before that. Then the pizza delivery guy, he sells like all these pizzas. And then, Kevin Mcallister's dad's brother, his uncle, Kevin's dad, he takes the pizzas. And he's like, sir, that'll be $120. And the guy's like, oh, my brother will pay for it. He's like, I just spoke to your brother. He didn't give me, well, fuck. And he's like, the pizza boy's just standing there for like 25 minutes, Chad. Just like, I need the money or I'm going to get fired. And so the uncle just, cheap son of a bitch, Chad. That uncle character's a piece of shit. And he goes to the kitchen, gets the pizzas. Eventually, Chad, we see all the fucking pizzas. Everyone's fucking stuffing their goddamn mouths and things. And Kevin, he's just looking for his cheese pizzas. That's what he desperately wants. And he's still getting harassed by his brothers and sisters, Chad, because apparently he's going to have to bunk. His room is being shared with, I think it's like his aunt and uncle. They're going to be in the bed. They're going to have hot, sweaty sex in his bed, which is gross. I do not want that, Chad. And he has to bunk with his cousin, Chad. I think his name is like Filler. I don't know what the cousin has a Fullerton. He's got like a weird goddamn name. Uncle Frank's a piece of shit. Like Fullerton, shit. Apparently Fullerton, he's missing things in his body. He's got like this little like fucked up body, Chad, and he has no bladder anymore. So when he drinks a liquid, boom, just comes right out of him. And his sisters and brothers just warned me. He's like, you're gonna have to bunk with Fuller, and all the liquid. He's drinking a lot of liquid. He's just gonna come right out of him. We cut the Filler or whatever the fuck his name is, Chad. And he's just drinking all this milk. Which, by the way, too much dairy in this movie. For whatever reason, chat, Macaulay Culkin is always drinking milk in this movie, and it disgusts me. Where we see the family, they're having pizza with milk, and that to me is that's too much cheese. There's too much dairy, chat. Like, you want soda, fine, whatever. I don't drink soda anymore, but, they have that. But it's just gross to me that you have the children just drinking copious amounts of milk while eating pizza. It's fucking disgusting. Agreed, Ace Rock. Yeah, Fuller. I knew it was Fuller. Also played by Macaulay's little brother, Kieran. What? Why not? Yeah, that's right. Well, Wallace, the roommate in Scott Pilgrim, he's great. I forgot that was him. Wow, he did a good job. He's great as Wallace in Scott Pilgrim. So funny. But too much milk being drunk here. And, Macaulay Culkin's like, God, Jesus, no. And he's looking for his plain cheese pizza, Chad. He's a man of simple tastes. I don't want any fucking toppings. I don't want any green bell peppers. I don't want any mushrooms. I don't want any olives. I don't want any sausage. I don't want it. And he says, I asked, for a cheese pizza. And Buzz says, oh, yeah, no, it was here. We all ate it, though. And Macaulay Culkin's like, oh, the rage is building inside of him. The rage is building inside of him, Chad. And Buzz is like, oh, excuse me, no, I can go ahead. You just give me a plate. I'll give it back to you. He starts regurgitating the pizza onto Macaulay Culkin, which is fucking gross, Chad. So Macaulay Culkin's reaction to this makes sense. And he just fucking tackles Buzz, Chat, and just starts burrowing into his tummy like a goddamn rat. Just, give me the pizza. He's gonna get it one way or the other, Chat. And as everyone starts fucking freaking out, Chat, all this milk, because Buzz's bulk, Chat, hits the side of the table. All the milk falls in the pizza. Now it's like milky pizza, which is gross as fuck. That's like, I don't want to eat that at all. And all the Pepsi, Chat, the Pepsi and the Coke branding, it all spills everywhere. And, Fuller, Chad, he gets nervous, Chad, because now all the liquid's coming out of him. And he gets up. But then his father, Chad, Uncle Frank, crushes his own son. And his body's all atrophied now. And the mom's like, oh, God, because his bones are all fucking brittle. That's why he needs the milk, because he can't retain anything, Chad. But he needs it for his bones. And his fucking dad just broke all his goddamn bones. So he's all like he's derpy now. And Mom's like trying to help him and everything. And then the mom comes in, Macaulay Culkin's mom, she comes in. She's like, Kevin, get off your brother. And then it's like, oh, it's fucking chaos. And they're all staring at Kevin. Kevin's just like, fuck you people. I hate you so much. I just wanted cheese pizza. It was free pizza. And then his Uncle Frank, though, he has the line that just ends it. He just says, look what you did, you little jerk. Which as a child, I was like, ooh, oh my God. It's like the worst thing someone your family member could say to you. And it's all fucking dick. We're all looking at Kevin, just like, oh, we hate you so much, Kevin. He's like, I fucking hate all you guys. And Kevin's mom grabs him. He's like, okay, you're fucking going to bed right now. And she's walking near the stairs shit. But Joe Pesci's still there, along with the pizza guy. Pizza guy's been there for 45 minutes, Shay. He hasn't gotten paid yet. And she goes, oh my God, have you been paid? Like, I have not been paid. She's I'm so sorry. And she gives him a nice tip check. Gives him looks like, I don't know, she gives him like $200. So he just pocketed like fucking $80. He's like, thanks for the tip. Good for the pizza guy, chat. He gets fucked up later in the movie. He did not deserve it. Again, Macaulay Culkin establishing he's a little shit. He fucks the pizza guy, chat. And I don't like it. I don't like it, chat. Dark side of the five is honestly still fake. No, the whole family's shitty. No, as I said at the top, the whole family a piece of shit. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. They get everyone gets what they deserve. So then Joe Pesci's there. He's like, man, I think I talked to your husband before. Just want to let you know that we're gonna be patrolling the neighborhood, making sure that you're all gonna be safe. Just want to know about your security system. She's like, oh, thank you so much. And he's like, oh, no problem, no problem. He looks down at Macaulay Culkin and he smiles. He's like, Merry Christmas. And he has a gold tooth. He goes, the gold tooth, so gaudy, so gaudy. And he's like, well, you have a nice holiday and a nice trip to Paris. And he luckily is the pizza guy, chat. Well, Kevin's mom takes him upstairs, and he's just like, I don't want to fucking sleep with Fuller. He has a weak bladder. He has a lack of bladder, and his bones are brittle. He's gonna wail into the night. And she goes, fair enough. We'll move him somewhere else. But she said, now get up to bed. He's like, I want to be up in the attic. She's like, you gotta be up in the attic, okay? Your bed's being used by the aunt, fucking Frank and Edna. And he's like, why? Because that's what families do. We have to share. He's like, well, I don't want a family anymore. And she's like, you know what? I'm tired of hearing this from you. Go up the stairs. He goes up there, and he's like, I hope you fucking die. And mom's like, oh, you better not mean that. He's like, oh, I mean it. I wish all of you guys would disappear. I hate you. I fucking hate you. And she's just like, oh, God. She's just so upset by this. He goes upstairs, chat, and he goes to bed. He's like, just crying, chat. She goes down to help clean up the mess downstairs. AJ Daniels, thank you so much for the 5-bitty donation. Buzz, the ultimate dude. He's not a good person. Fuck you, mom. I hate you. Pretty much does that. So it's not great. It's not great, chat. But they clean up everything, chat. They clean up everything. And even in the bed, he just says, Santa, he pulls that fucking Topher Grace from Spider-Man 3. I love this. In Spider-Man 3, there's a very dumb scene where Eddie Brock goes to the church and he prays to Jesus. He goes, oh, Jesus. I know I haven't been the best guy in the world. I know I'm a flawed individual, a flawed creature in your Garden of Eden. But I just have one thing to ask of you. I just want you to kill Peter Parker. And Kevin McAllister has a similar scene. He's just like, God, I know that, I've sometimes not been the best person in the world, but I just have one thing to ask of you. Just fucking kill my horrible family. It's just like, what? Emerald, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very well. We're at the part where Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin, wishes his family was dead. And he's about to get his wish because then everyone's like, okay, we cleaned up the Milky Pizza. They had to eat the Milky Pizza, chat, so no one's pooping tonight. No one's pooping tonight, chat, except when you get on the plane. It's going to be a fucking nightmare. Oh, my God. You got to travel to Paris? How long is the flight to Paris? Probably 16 plus hours, if not longer, chat, going over the Atlantic Ocean. It has to be at least 16 hours, right? That's what I'm guessing, chat. At least 16 hours. Maybe even near 24. I don't know. I think it's like 16. And so and all that's up there, Chad, is like, oh, it's going to be bad. You're going to occupy in those bathrooms, Chad. It's just all stored up. It's like a lot of blockage there. So, they clean up the Milky Pizza. They eat the rest of it, Chad, and they all go to bed. Fuller, he's in another bedroom, Chad, just pisses his pants all the goddamn day. Then we cut outside, Chad. Apparently there's another accident. There's a windy storm going on, Chad, and a tree falls down and messes up all these fucking wires. Oh, no! And it completely shuts off all the power to the block. And we cut. It's the morning, chat, and we see that they've hired some express drivers from the airport to pick them up, chat. And they're knocking, but they're like, I don't have a lot of time to get. And they're knocking. And then we cut inside, and no one has gotten up yet. They've all overslept. And eventually, Ken McAllister mom, she hits the clock thing, and it says that it needs to be reset. It says like 12 a.m. She's like, what? She checks her watch. She goes, oh! She fucking flips out, and she's like, we overslept. And the husband's like, ah! And everyone's just running around the goddamn house, just trying to get prepared. Trying to get ready, and it's a complete mess. We cut outside, Chad. One of the neighborhood kids, who's fucking annoying as hell, he's just like, oh boy, what are you guys? They're like, we're express drivers, work for the airport. He goes, wow, it's really cool. It's like McAllister's, they go on a trip, and they're like, Yeah, I think so. He's like, boy, where are they going? Paris, France? Well, that's real thing. Guys, he's like, kid, just give us a break, okay? Just leave us alone. And he just will not chat. He just wants to, he has all these questions and he needs the answers. I don't think he gives a fuck about the answers yet. He just likes to hear himself talk. And eventually, everyone gets out of the house. You got the, you know, the uncle. He's like, we are not going to make it to the flight, okay? It leaves in 45 minutes. He's like, have faith. Think positively. I'm thinking realistically, okay? They're all getting out there. Eventually, all the kids go out there too, chat. And you have the eldest, chat, which I guess is she's one of the cousins. Her parents live in France. And she's responsible for keeping track of all the kids. And she lines them all up against one in the car, and she starts counting them, chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all that shit. There's 11 kids in total, chat. But she mistakens the annoying neighbor kid who's there, chat, who's fucking just rifling through their stuff and just taking it. What kind of neighborhood is this? Does any of the children in this movie have a sense of morality, chat? Like, none of them do. It was like, we're just going to take shit and we don't give a shit. Just taking cameras and clothes. It's like, this is good. I like this. This is very nice. And she accidentally counts him as one of the kids, chat, thinking it's Kevin. And she's like, 11, accidentally. She counts her own head, 11. Good. Now get in your goddamn cars and shit. And Buzz tries to mess with her. Says, like, 52, 91. She's like, shut the fuck up, Buzz. And she counts him. He's like, don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. And they all get into the van, chat, and they all go into the airport. And like, yeah, we're good. And we're a little stressed out, but we're good. And then chat, we're at the airport right now. They're going, and they're just rushing to the goddamn gate. They're just fucking knocking over old ladies, just trying to get out of the way. Get out of the way. Just kicking them, chat. Again, this family does not deserve anything, chat. They are pieces of shit. They get everything that they deserve in this one. Just knocking over old ladies and kicking strollers out of the way, chat. Just a goddamn stampede of selfish, rich white people, chat. Aren't they the worst? Eventually, they get to the gate, they board the plane, and boom, they nailed it. They're there. And, you know, it's like, did we, and then they're flying on the plane. And they're like, okay. This is good. This is good. No, this is good. We remembered everything. Like, no issues whatsoever. And on the plane. But then, chat, we cut back. And Kevin, he wakes up, chat, and he's just looking around the house, seeing what's happened, seeing like, Mom, Dad, Uncle Edna, Uncle Frank, Fuller, Buzz, all his other fucking sisters and shit. He's like, guys, and he's like, I'm alone. And he goes outside, chat, sees that the cars are still in the garage. He's like, the cars are still here. Oh my God. And he runs back in the house and he goes, my family is dead! Woohoo! And he just loses his goddamn mind, chat. He just enjoys himself. He cannot believe his family is fucking dead. He doesn't have to bother with them anymore. He's like, yes, my wish worked. The God or the devil himself, I don't care which, has murdered my family and has removed them from the face of the earth. I'm going to live it up, chat. And he just fucking enjoys himself. He's running around the goddamn house. He's jumping on the fucking bed, shit, playing with all the toys he wants, making his own food, makes this giant sundae, chat. It's like filled with all sorts of shit. Vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream, strawberry, chat, mint chocolate, everything. All the fucking caramel, dressing, and you got, the fudge. You got that fudge, that chocolate syrup, chat, got that on there. Got some marshmallows in there. You got some Twinkies. It's like, that's a fucking heart attack waiting to happen. But thankfully, chat, he has he's a small boy. He has the childhood metabolism, so he should be good. And he's just enjoying himself, eating all this shit. And now he gets to watch that movie, Chad, because he was also very upset. Because one of the things that set him off initially, Chad, is that Uncle Frank wouldn't let him watch this very violent film, Chad. This very violent film, like with the other kids. He was very upset. He's like, I want to watch this movie. He said, now I'm going to fucking watch it. Chad. He puts in the fucking VHS tape. It's the fucking, it's about getting snakes. I don't know what the character's name is, Chad. But it's like the Angels of Darkness or some shit. And you got these two characters, Chad. You got a guy named Snakes, and you got the big boss man. I don't know what the fuck the character's name. But he's watching this shit. And, of course, you got this. And it's like a 1940s, noir mystery, Chad. Violent noir gangster mystery. And you got this one guy named Snakes. He's like, hey, I got Dirty Angels. That's what it's called. Dirty Angels. The fake movie that fooled Seth Rogen. I thought it was real, too. So I always thought that the film, City of Angels, chat, was Angels with Filthy Souls. That's a good name. Angels with Filthy Souls. I always thought this was a real movie. I never knew that this is actually made up for the film. I was like, what? Just I learned about that recently. I was like, wow, I never knew that. It's cool. The most random Easter egg. It really is. It really is, Joey. I agree with you. But he's watching this film and just stuffing his fucking face, yeah, just enjoying himself. And he puts the movie on, introduces the character Snakes. Snakes! He's got to talk to this guy named Johnny. He's like, Johnny, I got the money, okay? He's like, all right, then leave out the fucking counter and get the fuck out of here. And he's like, listen, Johnny, I just don't want to make sure there's no, problems with us. I just want to make sure that we're good. And he's like, I got a problem. No, I do got a problem with you. I got a lot of problems with you, okay? And he's like, look, Johnny, I'm just trying to talk to you. Why are you getting so aggressive? I'm going to be as aggressive as I fucking want. And he says, you know what? You want to talk to me so much? I want to talk to you. I'm going to count to 10. I'm going to count down. I'm going to count to 10 for you to get out of here. And he fucking pulls out a goddamn Tommy gun. He's aiming at Snakes. And he's like, Johnny, please, for the love of God, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. He's like, I'm counting. Okay, 1, 2, 10. And he fucking fills him full of molten hot lead, Chad. He kills Snakes. Snakes is dead. 1, 2, 10, that's it, Chad. He just takes it. Just enjoying himself, Chad. It's a massacre. Keep the change, you filthy animal. And Kevin sees this and goes, Mom! It's too much for him, Chad. See, the Uncle Frank was right. Uncle Frank's a piece of shit. Chad. But he was right. Kevin was not at the right age. Snakes did it. Fuck Snakes. Fuck him. Guy told you to leave. You're not going to leave. You're just going to talk. You're talking. You yap off. It's like, leave. Get the fuck out of there. He didn't do that shit. And look what happened to him. Dead. Filled with molten hot lead all in his tummy. He got what he fucking deserved. But then, Chad, we cut. We were on the airplane. And then, Kevin Mcallister's mom, she's like, Kevin! She's like, something was wrong, Chad. Her mom sense, Chad. It's like a spider sense, except it's for moms, Chad. When they know that their child is in danger, Chad. Her mama bear sense is tingling. And the dad's like, whoa, what is it? She goes, do we forget something? Do we forget something? He goes, I don't think so. I think we're good. And she goes, did you remember to turn the oven off? He's like, I checked. The oven was not on. It's like, okay. Did we all the kids here? And he goes, yes, yeah. I think so. Yeah. She goes, okay. Did you shut the garage? And he goes, you know what? That's what I didn't do. I didn't shut the garage, okay? I didn't shut the garage. Listen, when we land, I'll ask the neighbors they can go, and Manuel shut the garage. It's okay, that was it. That's what's wrong. She goes, no, it's not it. Kevin! And she realized it was Kevin, Chad, because usually at this point, Kevin would be annoying little shit on the plane. Wouldn't shut the fuck up. Everyone would be like, shut the fuck up, Kevin, but she's not hearing that. And she realizes Kevin is not here, Chad. That's the big problem. But all chat, there's more problems on the way soon enough. But eventually, the parents, they're all talking to each other on the plane, and the mom's like, oh my God, we're the worst parents ever. We left our son home alone. Title. They say home alone a lot in this movie, by the way. You can always make more kids, right? Protect the kids, what they should have done. He's like, oh my God, we left our son there. And the dad's just like, I don't give a fuck. I could care less. And Uncle Frank comes over. He goes, to make you feel better, I did leave my reading glasses at home. She's like, shut the fuck up, Frank. So they got a lot of regret, chat. There's a lot of regret going on. Eventually, we cut. Now here's the bigger threat. She was like, whoa, you thought that was bad. Actually, Kevin's going to be fine. He can live, Chad. He can live. But eventually we cut to... Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, chat. And Joe Pesci, he's not a goddamn police officer, chat. He's a burglar, along with his friend Daniel Stern, chat. And they have a van, chat. It's like a fucking repair van, but it's a ruse. See, what they've done is Joe Pesci, he's gone to all these houses posing as a police officer, which is a federal offense, by the way. You can go to jail for a long time for doing that. He's posed as a police officer, analyzing what their setups are when the auto security will come on. And so what they'll do is him and Daniel Stern, before the auto security comes on, they'll fucking raid these houses under the guise of repairmen. And he's like timing it like how all these houses are coming up. He says, the big one, Daniel, the big one is that one right there, the Mcallister residence. They got so many goods there. We can get so much off them, man. Like 70%, like 70 cents on the dollar, which is great. That's pretty good. He's like, holy shit, 70 cents on the dollar. He's like, yep, we're going to fucking live like kings for the next year. Hell yeah, we are. I can't wait to do it. Ooh, can't wait. And they said, well, let's do it now because they were like so excited, Jack. And they got their little crowbars and they fucking whack them like, yeah, like a little cheers moment. And they're going to go bust on in there. Meanwhile, Kevin, he's fucking terrified of the situation, chat. What's going on? That he's under the beds, but he hears some talking, he hears some rustling. And so he goes back downstairs. She goes back downstairs and sees these guys are trying to break in the house. And he turns on the goddamn lights, and this kind of spooks Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, and they just fucking get out of there. They're like, holy shit. We don't want to deal with that. And then he runs back up the stairs, chat. He runs back up the stairs because he's terrified. But thankfully, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern are like, okay, well, maybe there's still someone there. We got other houses we can hit. Let's just take a night off. It's like it sometimes happens. It sometimes happens to get some bad information. Don, thank you so much for subscribing. 25 months, over 2 years, Don. Thank you so much for your generosity. Cheers and salute to you. May the wings of the never feather your shake those heaven as we speak. Welcome to my Home Alone review. Just at the first scene when Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci try to break into the house, but Kevin, he bamboozles them a little bit. He turns the lights on, they go, and they panic and they run away. But then Kevin, he starts to get more crazy. He's like, wait a minute, I'm not fucking afraid anymore. I am not afraid anymore. I'm not going to let those two goddamn bums break in my house. I'm not going to be scared of the attic anymore. I'm not going to be scared of the furnace downstairs. I'm not afraid anymore. And he fucking wants to shout it to the world, chat. And he fucking runs out in the street. He's like, you hear me, you motherfuckers? I'm not afraid anymore. And then, chat, the old man from across the street, old man Murphy. Old man Murphy, what the fuck I called him before. The old man, chat, from the cross street, he walks slowly towards Kevin McAllister because he's got like soft shoes on, chat, and he doesn't hear him until he's like right upon him, chat. And he's like foreboding, chat, because he's like right over Kevin McAllister, casting his long shadow, chat. It's like the old man Slender Man. He's like old Slender Man, chat. And his shadow comes across him, and he just looks down upon Kevin. And the old man just says, hello. Kevin goes, ah! And he fucking flips the fuck out, and he runs back in the house, chat, right underneath the bed. He does not want to experience, like, that was the scariest thing ever. He does not want to be chopped up and salted, chat, and turned to a mummy. He would like to avoid that as best as possible. Eventually, chat, we cut back to the McAllisters. They have landed in Paris, chat, and they're being typical rude Americans. Typical rude Americans, chat. They can give a shit less about anybody. And they fucking attack these French people, chat. They're trying to have a conversation, talking to their family, throw them off the fucking phone, and they try to ring up the police, and the police could give a shit less. It's like, oh, you mean your upper middle class house where your son is currently living and he's home alone? And they go, yes. Could you send someone by there? And he's like, I'm sure he's gonna be fine. But he's like, no, he could be harmed. Like, what was the big deal? What was the thing that panicked them so much? Is like, he lives in a fucking mansion. He's got plenty of food in there. Like he's got, I guess the neighbors are all gone, so he guess technically he is alone. He's home alone. But even if he is alone, he's gonna be okay. Like there's not gonna be anything bad happen. So why the fucking, check your white privilege, Karen? Exactly, chat. Like he is fine, okay? There are worse kids off in worse situations, and the fact you're worried about your goddamn kid, living home alone in a fucking mansion with all the resources at his disposal, he's gonna be fucking fine. Enjoy your trip. Who gives a shit? But the mom she just will not let it go, chat. She is just so concerned about this. She has her sister-in-law try to call the neighbors, all answering machines, chat, because they're all vacationing over the holidays too. And so she makes a decision, chat. She makes a decision like I'm just gonna get on the flight back. And they're like, but the dad's like, listen, we can do that, okay? I'll do that, but I don't stay at the airport. And this is the part of the movie. It's like, Mom fucked up. Mom fucked up here because she's like, I just feel this profound guilt as a mother. All right, I had him suckle in my own bosom. My bosoms ache because I feel so terrible what I did. I abandoned my baby. He's like, no, let's just go to they have like a fucking chateau. We'll go to the chateau, okay? And we'll wait until tickets are available because there's no fucking tickets back. There's no tickets from Paris to Chicago. All right, you know how fucking rare that is to get? It's not going to happen. All right, so let's just wait a couple of days until something opens up. I'm going to keep track of it. All right, and I'll get the ticket. She's like, no, I got to stay here because she wants to guilt herself. She wants to hurt herself. That's what it is. And he's like, fuck, fine. And so she stares at the airport, chat, the entire time trying to get these goddamn tickets. Eventually, and it's funny because she starts like guilting people and things, which is hilarious. And some of these things are out of order, which is fine. But she's like, I need to get back home. And I guess she gets like this one ticket to New York, chat. right? It's like Paris to New York, and she's trying to bribe this old woman. She's like, I'll give you my earrings, I'll give you my necklace, I'll give you my Walkman, I'll give you my Sony Walkman. He's like, a Sony Walkman? Oh, jeez. And she's like, I'll give you my brassiere. She's like, your brassiere? Oh my God. And the lady's just like, okay, what else did you give me? She's like, I'll give you everything. I just need to see my son. And the husband comes in over talking, and he's like, oh, Frank, or what the guy's name is. No, I think his name is like Edgar. This lady is offering us 2 first-class tickets. We wouldn't fly out until Friday, but she'd give me all of these earrings and jewels. She's like, you have fucking earrings. My wife has a big fucking shoebox full of earrings and jangly jewels. No, thank you. And she's like, Edgar, please. And it's like, and then she starts appealing, like, please, look into your heart. Look into your heart, please, my son. Mother to mother. And she's like, oh, Edgar, please. He's like, all right, but I will take all the things you have, though, yes. So she takes all her jewelry and things, and she gets that ticket, Chad. She gets that ticket, and she flies back to New York. Chad. But there's still many things that need to be accomplished, Chad, because then she's got to go to Chicago. That's still a hell of a fucking journey, obviously, Chad. Eventually, though, we cut back to Kevin McAllister, Chad, and he has taken upon himself to start acting more mature, Chad. He's got to start acting more mature, and he is starting to miss his family. And he's like, okay, being home alone I thought would be so cool, but there's certain things that I didn't realize so much went into, being a mom or a dad or an older brother, older sister. My family really has taken care of me. And now he's doing all these things, Chad. He goes to the grocery store. He's picking up all the groceries, not only to feed himself now, Chad, because he fucking wasted all the groceries, eating all the food he wanted. He's like, I got to, actually, have these, to last me, like, a number of days, a number of weeks, number of months. And so he goes there. He gets detergent, Chad, gets detergent and bleach. He does the laundry downstairs. And there's just some really good scenes because we see this little 10-year-old kid pushing this fucking car alone by himself in the supermarket, and he starts putting all this stuff on the thing to pay for it, the cash register, and the lady goes, "Where is your mom and dad?" And they goes, "Oh, they're at home. Oh, they're outside in the car." And he's like, "Don't you have a brother and sister? I'm an only child." Like, I love this back and forth. And it felt between the cashier and Kevin. And it's very reminiscent, Chad, of the scene between John Candy and Macaulay Culkin and Uncle Buck, which is fucking awesome. I love this, like, asking all these questions. It's so good. And so I was like, that felt a little reminiscent, which is also a John Hughes movie. And she goes, "Okay, what's your name, kid?" And she goes, I get out to tell you that. And she's like, "Why?" "Because you're a stranger." And she goes, fair enough. And he pays her for everything, Chad. And he's going home, Chad. For the day. He's carrying all these, groceries and things, Chad. But he notices one particular thing, Jay. He keeps seeing that one fucking van with Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci, Chad. Always around. Always around there. He's like, that's kind of odd. And we even cut to one of the homes, Chat, with Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci. And apparently, Chat, this is when the Mcallisters were calling on the house. They hear a message. And Daniel Stern hears this and apparently goes, man, the fucking Mcallisters, they're actually gone. So Pesci's like, perfect. We'll go ahead and fucking hit that house tonight. That's what we'll do. That's exactly what we're going to do. Eventually, we cut back to Kevin McAllister, and he does a lot of the Deadpool thing, Joe. He's breaking the fourth wall, kind of like Ferris Bueller, which again is another thing that John Hughes does a lot in his movies. And he's just saying, like, I'm taking care of myself. I'm eating better. I'm not having as much milk as I usually do. I'm gonna have a lot of milk later in the film, but I'm not having as much milk as I usually do. I'm eating my protein, my vegetables, my cheese, my dairy products, but keeping it down to a minimum. And he's like, I'm also cleaning, I'm washing, I'm bathing myself now. I'm cleaning my various crevices. I don't like the one when they have fucking Macaulay Culkin saying, I've been cleaning my crevices. I don't want to hear the crevices, chat, described to me in intimate detail by a 10-year-old boy. I don't want to hear that. No, thank you. I don't want to hear about your crevices. I feel dirty. I feel dirty, even though you clean yourself. And he's like, but things have been going pretty well. And you have the classic moment, where he puts his dad's aftershave on. Just screams and everything. It's great. It's a very good moment, It's a very good moment. Eventually, we cut back to that's right. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, and Kevin realizes the situation is getting worse. and he has observed Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci doing this, so he's going to make sure that the house appears like there are people in it. And so they come back there the next night. They come back there the next night, but the whole fucking looks like the whole family's back there. Have all this music out of you hear, fucking Jingle House Rock and all that playing. You have all these people like moving around the house. They're like, what the fuck? But they said in the message that no one was there. It's not possible. They couldn't have flown back from Paris like in a day. And they're like, this is weird. This doesn't make any goddamn sense. And eventually, they leave Jim, and we see inside that, which is pretty clever. Kevin McAllister, I don't know how he did this shit, but this is where the jigsaw thing comes into, because he has managed to use all these mannequins. His family somehow owns a shit ton of mannequins, and a lot of the cardboard cutout shit. You see like Michael Jordan like moving around, and he's controlling them via this pulley system. They're all attached to him, chat, and he's like trying to like make them act in unison with each other. It's fucking complicated, but it's like that's pretty goddamn good. That's pretty good. Yeah, Michael Jordan's on the train going from room to room. It looks really fucking weird on the outside. But it bamboozles. Thankfully, Chad, it does bamboozle. It does bamboozle Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern. Eventually, chat, we cut back to Macaulay Culkin. He's still being responsible, chat. And he's like, I need to practice a good dental hygiene. Consuming all that sugar and dairy products was too rough. Not only on my bowels, and I paid for that in the many days so far, but also on my teeth as well. It's like every time I take a sip of water, it stings them. Like how does my goddamn teeth sting? So he goes to this little convenience store, chat, and he's like about to buy a toothbrush, chat. It's like, I want to make sure that this has FDA approval. And the lady's like, kid, I don't fucking know. Okay, I'm sure it has FDA approval. I'm sure it's totally fine. I'm sure it's totally fine. But then all of a sudden, Chad, the old man is there. It's very creepy with the old man. First of all, Kevin was in line, and the old man cuts in front of him, and he lays down like a bloodied hand because like his hand's all wrapped up because of the salt, Chad. Because, as you all know, Chad, if you salt, you got to be very careful when it comes to salt exposure. If you're constantly shoveling salt with bare hands, eventually that salt will get on your hands, chat, and it will dry out the skin until it starts to crack. It's really gross. I've seen this shit. I've seen it. And so apparently he has salted his hands so goddamn much that it's just cracked the skin open like oh God, it's like split. It's disgusting. And he's laid down like a bloodied hand on the counter. It's like, what are you doing, dude? And he's just staring at Kevin. And Kevin's just like, oh. And he just fucking runs out of there. He just runs, but he didn't pay for the toothbrush. He's like, thief. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I just got scared. And he's running. He's being chased by the police yet. The police are now chasing him at this point. And he's like, this situation it's gotten too it's ridiculous. It's gotten too much out of hand at this point. Eventually, he escapes the popo, Chad. He does escape the popo, but he thinks he's a fucking wanted criminal at this point. He's like, this is just terrible. And, but he's just walking home. He still has his one toothbrush, Chad. He has his one toothbrush. He's just walking home, just like, oh, my God. The situation is just gotten too much overhand. What can I do to survive? And eventually, we cut to Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, chat, and they just finished robbing a house. And like Daniel Stern just has this little, he's got this little giggle. He's like rubbing his hands, chat. They're wet. And Joe Pesci's like, you did it again, didn't you? And he's like, I had to, man. It was our calling card. And so what's been happening, Chad, every time they rob a house or burglarize a house, Daniel Stern has been turning on all the faucets and bathtubs, Chad, and letting them overflow with water, destroying the homes. And he's like, it's our calling card. It's our calling card, Joe. We're the wet bandits. And I like Joe Pesci's character has a weird sense of morality where it's like, listen, everything that we're stealing from them, it's insured. Okay, it's all insured. It's covered. So they're going to get their money back and everything, so it's fine, all right? But I like it, he says, like, you know what you're doing is sick. Okay, you're destroying these people's homes, man. You're destroying these people's homes. He's like, I'm not sick. He's like, yeah, it's just fucking sick. Stop doing this. Why do you got to do this? Just leave these people's homes alone. It's interesting that Joe Pesci has like this weird sense of morality throughout the movie, where he's like, I'm not going to destroy people's homes or anything. I'm going to steal from them. I just thought that was kind of cool. I was like, it always stuck out to me, chat, while watching this movie here again. And they're arguing back and forth, chat. They're driving out of the driveway, not paying attention to Kevin, who's just looking sad and, forlorn. And Dale Stern's like, Joe, watch out. He goes, Gah! And he stops the car, chat, and Kevin's like, ah! And it nearly fucking kind of hits him, chat. Hits him a little bit, goes, bah! He gets hit a little bit, and he falls down. He's like, Gah! But he's too much in shock, chat. Not even by getting hit by a repair vehicle, but by, being chased by the police, chat. and being accosted by the salt-afflicted hands of the old man, Chad, old man Murray. It was just too much for him, Chad. And he just starts walking. And Joe rolls down his window, Chad, because the 90s, and we don't have those auto rollers, so he's rolling. God, fucking takes like 5 minutes to do this. He's like, hey, kid, you got to watch where you're going. Watch for oncoming traffic, okay? And the kid goes, okay, because he's just sad. And Joey's like, I feel kind of bad. He's like, you're good, kid. Merry Christmas. And he smiles, Chad, and we see the gold tooth. And Kevin McAllister goes, oh, he recognized the gold tooth. And he puts all this shit together, Chad. He goes, oh my God, that police officer is this guy, but this guy isn't a police officer. He's a repairman, but I don't think he's a repairman. I think they're in criminals. I think that was one of the guys who tried to break it in my house. And he's like, and he tries to play it cool, Chat, but he can't play it cool. But he realized so much. It's like, it was the drop the coffee cup moment, Chat, in the goddamn Untouchables. That's what it was. That's what it was, Chat. It was not Untouchables, Unusual Suspects. It was that moment, Chad, Unusual Suspects. You just like, imagine if Macaulay Culkin, Chad, had a steaming pot, a steaming cup of coffee, and he went, and he dropped it, Chad. Same scene, same exact goddamn scene. And so he fucking turns around and just starts walking robotically and shit, like, I'm a normal human boy. And Joe Pesci's just like, I don't like the way that kid looked at me. And Daniel Stern's like, so? And he's like, I think that kid might have recognized me. He's like, do you know what the kid, have you seen the kid before? He's like, I've seen like 100 kids this fucking week. I don't fucking know. And he's like, well, let's see what house he goes into, and maybe you'll recognize him. He goes, okay. And so fucking we get Joe Pesci creeping on this kid. This is like, oh my God, is he going to offer him candy at this point? Like, he just is in the giant fucking van, Chat, going 5 miles, less than 5 miles per hour, just creeping behind Macaulay Culkin. And Macaulay Culkin just looks behind him, and Joe Pesci's just like, hey, how you doing? And Macaulay Culkin fucking loses it. And he starts running. She's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And he goes to the church. He's like, God, please help me, Jesus, please. And he takes refuge, Chat, in the manger scene. Chat, he pretends to be one of the three kings, giving frankincense, myrrh, and/or gold to baby JC. And Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern, as we all know, Chad, burglars, they cannot set foot on church grounds, Chad. They cannot, that is holy ground, and they set foot on there, they will burn. They will burn. They are like vampires, Chad. They are like vampires, and them's the rules. So he's like, churches freak me out, because they would burn alive, and they leave. At this point, Macaulay Culkin's like, okay, this has gotten way too complicated now. I gotta deal with these fuckers. And this is when we get the puppetry scene with Michael Jordan and shit. This is when this happens. Eventually, though, Chat, we cut back to Paris, France, Chat, where the rest of the family is taking refuge in the chateau, and the dad is trying to get tickets to go back to Chicago. Chat, he's struggling. And some of the kids are getting, his brothers and sisters, Chad, his cousins, are getting concerned for Kevin. Uncle Frank is just stuffing his fat face full of shrimp. Chad, it's too much shellfish. I love shellfish, Chad, but it's just like he's just eating way too much shellfish. It's not a good combination. Not a good combination. And the only person who doesn't give a shit about Kevin is Buzz. And, his sister's just like, Buzz, why do you feel this way? And Buzz is just like, you know what? No, he deserves to live on his own, okay? Yeah, he'll be fine, all right? He could fucking grow up a little bit. And she's like, Buzz, aren't you at all concerned that something bad might happen to him? And he goes, there's 3 reasons why I don't think nothing bad's going to happen to him. A, I'm not that lucky. Two, he's more mature than he thinks he is. And D, what's the worst that could happen? And then we cut, Chat, later on in the movie. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern have entered the home, and they're stabbing Kevin. No, they haven't gotten that yet, but they were going to. They were going to horrifically murder him, though. That was no question. Ooh, Chat. Getting some more support here. Let me go ahead and thank these individuals. Hold on now. Got a new friend, Chat. Got a new follower. Thank you. Fushida, thank you with all you. My new Huckleberry. Welcome to stream. Hope you're doing very well today. The candy is really the only thing. It really is. If he just had you want some candy, does it smell like chloroform to you? They would have chloroformed in, Chat, and stabbed him. That's what it would have happened. But Kevin, we cut back, Chat, and things are afoot. There are bad things about to happen, Chat. It's getting very difficult. And Kevin, he's having a moral crisis at this point. Kevin's having a serious moral crisis, and he has decided, you know what, fuck it. I can't have any sense of morality. This is what he comes up with, Chad. He's like, in order to defend my homestead, in order to defend myself, I need to stop looking at these individuals as human. I must treat them as a threat. And it's like, what the fuck is happening? This is when the movie takes a dark turn, because apparently he's like, I need to practice treating humans like they are subhuman to me, like they're lesser mortals to me. I am their God to them. And so the first thing, he wants to do a test chat. He's like, I'm going to use this, where he calls the pizza delivery boy chat. He's like, I want my cheese goddamn pizza, okay? It's what I desire most of all. All right, and he calls the pizza boy chat, and he has no money. He doesn't want to fucking pay him. I don't want to fucking pay the kid. And so the pizza boy arrives there, chat, knocks over the statue again, like everyone else who ever knocked over the statue. But he sees on the front door, take the pizza around to the back, and he goes, okay, and he takes the pizza around to the back. And on the thing, it says, leave the pizza at the doorstep. And the guy, he does it. It was like, okay, I still need to be paid, though. And then Kevin McAllister, chat, he turns on the TV from the filthy angels with filthy souls or some shit, and he hears that dialogue, chat. It is like, I'll give you the count of 10 to get the fuck out of here. Or I'll blow you, I'll fill you with hot molten lead. And the pizza boy's like, sir, I just want to get paid. And then he's just 1, 2, 10, and he fires shit. And the pizza boy's like, oh, and he scares him, chat, and he runs off. So if he, not only, chat, he did one thing. He nearly got the pizza boy killed, Jack. He was tripping over all that ice. Well, he fell over and hit his head on the concrete. Could have killed him, Chad. Or now he's going to get fired. He's going to get fired, Chad. He's not going to be able to pay. He's got to take it out of his own pocket. So Kevin McAllister, again, piece of shit, does not care. He does not care, Chad. And this is the first. He's like, I must harden my heart against these humans. He doesn't care about them anymore. It's gotten really rough, Chad. Eventually, he's like, okay, but I still got to take care of the house. I got to take care of my domicile. And he starts doing more chores, chat, and everything. And it's like, okay, this is going well for the most part. It's going well for the most part. Eventually, he's like, okay, I got to go ahead and try this again. Because now Daniel Stern, he's like, we're going to arrive at the house, and we're going to try to invade it once again. But he does the same fucking trick he did with the goddamn pizza boy, chat. He did pay, just that he didn't tip, so he turned. Oh, that's what it is. He did pay him, just didn't tip him. Oh, that's funny. Oh, you should fucking tip. You should fucking tip, chat. I always tip 20%. That's what it is. But he pulls the same goddamn gag on Daniel Stern. Daniel Stern tries again and chat, puts his fucking foot through the little doggy door. Just like, oh, shit, and his shoe falls off. And Kevin's like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, shit. And he turns on the tape immediately, chat. Turns on the tape immediately. And, and fucking Daniel Stern hears all this is like, snakes. He's like, snakes, I'll give you till the count of 10 to get out of here. I'm going to fucking fill you full of lead. Daniel Stern's like, snakes, what the hell's going on? And he hears it, 1, 2, 10. And he's like, oh, and it freaks him out, shit. And he fucking runs off and he fucking hits his head and shit. And he goes back to Joe Pesci. And he's like, there's 2 guys in there. There's 2 guys that hit it before us. And Joe Pesci's like, what are you talking about? I didn't see them. There's no 2 guys. What we do what we do. There's no one here. I didn't see Johnny or Billy. He's like, I don't know, man. This is a new group. And they got one guy just blew away his partner, snakes. He's like, snakes, that sounds familiar. So apparently they saw the same movie. And they're like, listen, this situation got more complicated than we eventually thought it could. What we should do, though, is, eventually, if there's police start checking all these homes, and eventually they learn about a murder, who do you think they're going to blame? Us. And so let's go ahead. Let's get a nice little alibi for ourselves, all right? Let's wait here. We're going to wait here, see who comes out, and we could have put a face to the murderer. And Daniel Stern's like, that's a good idea, but she's like, I know it's a goddamn good idea. And so they wait there, chat. But then eventually they're waiting there for hours, and Daniel Stern, he's asleep. Joe Pesci's just watching, and he sees Kevin McAllister, chat, walk out of the house, cut like a little part of the tree. Cut a little part of the tree, chat, this pine, take it back in. And he goes, that's the same fucking kid. Oh my God. We've been bamboozled by a kindergartner. And that's what it was, Chiz. And they're like, oh, fucking kids. That's what it is. That's what it is. And Joe Pesci's like, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come back here around 9 at night. We're going to get a bite to eat, come back here, and we're going to get him. We're going to get the kid. We're going to make sure we're going to incapacitate, not going to hurt him. We're going to incapacitate him, and we're going to rob this fucking house. That's what we're going to do. And, Daniel Stern's like, yeah, kids are afraid of the dark. And he's like, Daniel, you're afraid of the dark. He's like, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. Yes, you are afraid of the dark. I love that little improv they had back and forth. It was quite funny. And he said, yeah, kids are dumb. That's what he said. Kids are dumb. Thank you. Woo, shit, we got some new followers here. Who else we have here, chat? Manny Maxo, thank you for the follow. And IceJ96, thank you for all you my new Huckleberries. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very well today. Now, at this point, Chad, we cut back to Kevin's mom. And she's like, I got to get home immediately. I feel sorry. I'm so scared for my baby boy. The thing is, though, Chad, she cannot get a flight from New York to Chicago. But she's just so stressed out. She's appealing to the ticket people. They're like, we can't do anything for you. But you know who fucking overhears her, Chad? John goddamn Candy, Chad, the polka king of the Midwest. He hears this and he goes over to Mrs. McAllister and he says, "I'm sorry, I couldn't help it over here. I don't know if you may recognize me." And she's like, "I don't." He's like, I'm John Candy, polka king of the Midwest. I did multiple polka songs. We sold a lot of fucking records in the 70s, sold over 600. She's like, in Chicago? No, Toboken. He's like, all these fucking made up names and everything. And she's like, okay. He's like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't talk about my celebrity. Listen, you see that one of those polka bums over there? He's renting a truck, and we're going up to Milwaukee, all right? And, we can, along the way, we're going right through Chicago. So if you want to, bunk with a couple of polka bums, we can take you there. She's like, you take me there? He goes, of course I take you there, of course. She's like, oh, thank you. It's a great, good cameo scene. She had the legend, John goddamn Candy. It's a very good scene. As you guys know, I'm a huge John Candy fan. One of my favorite movies of all time is Uncle Buck. Love that film, Chad. It's one of those movies I watch every year. I always get a little, I don't know for whatever reason. It's literally the perfect family film. And I always get a little emotional watching. He's just such a good soul in that movie. I just love him. God bless the Polka King indeed, Katie. And look, he's doing a goddamn good deed, helping this woman doesn't even know it yet, just because he's like, I too am a father, and the last thing I want you, is to not experience Christmas with your son. So go ahead and come with us. And we get some great scenes with him, because and they're all in the fucking back of this giant moving truck, chat. Just going to Chicago. Thank you. Bob, thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing very well. You're my new Huckleberry. Hope you're enjoying the review so far for Home Alone, the scene by scene breakdown featuring the Polka King, also known as John Candy. And so he's driving, and they're all fucking playing polka in the back of the car and shit. Like, he's on the clarinet, and he's like, hey, you want to try it? And Kevin McAllister's like, Mom, I don't want to play it. She's like, oh, come on. She's like, I don't want to fucking touch your spit-soaked clarinet. He's like, all right. And they continue playing polka. And eventually, she's very sad about the situation. She's like, because, he was asking her about, well, what happened? What happened? He's like, we were going to Paris, France, and we were rushing outside. And I left my son, and we didn't even know we had him. I didn't have him on the flight until, halfway there. And she's crying. He's like, oh, it's okay. Listen, this happens. She's like, it does? I feel like a horrible mother. He's like, no, listen. My youngest, let me tell you. We had a funeral for my wife's mother. My wife's mother. We all went there. It was very sad. Some bad blood between the families and shit. But we went there. We broke bread. And we were leaving. And we had to travel to 6 hours though. 6 hours. And didn't realize till we got home that we left our youngest son there. And I was like, shit. And so we were like, we'll sleep on it. And we went back there the next day. And we found him. He was still in the funeral parlor, and the body was still there. He spent nearly over 24 hours of my mother-in-law. And he didn't talk to us for the first 6 weeks, but he started talking after that. He got better eventually. Just takes time. And she's like, she's hearing all this. Wonderful improv by John Candy. I fucking love it. Eventually, though, Chad, we cut back to Macaulay Culkin, and he's like, this is like he's preparing, chat, for Christmas, enjoying himself and everything, but he's still caring. He's feeling, even though he's home alone, he's feeling homesick, because what makes a home, chat, is the family that's in it. And his family is going. He's looking at all the photos, and he's remembering the good times he had with his mom and dad, his brothers and sisters, his uncle, his aunt, his cousins, and everything. He's like, God damn it. And he's starting to feel guilty, Chet. He tried to harden his heart. To everyone, Chet. He's like, it's not, I can't do that. It's only particular people. And he's like, I must ask for forgiveness, chat. So where does he go first? Who does he go to speak to first, chat? Santa Claus. And so he goes to the little makeshift Santa Claus shop home that they got set up there, but it's late at night, and so they're locking up and shit. And we see this elf lady who's very, very cute. And he's like, nice shoes. She's like, thank you so much for saying nice things about my shoes. And he's like, how's the fat man? And she's like, oh, he's actually leaving for the night. And he's like, thanks. Is this John Hughes as Santa? I want to ask a question. I believe is this John Hughes dressed up as Santa? I don't know. Chris Ayers, you know a lot about this film. If you can affirm if this was indeed John Hughes dressed up as Santa, I would appreciate it. I like to, for the sake of convenience, that this is John Hughes. And he goes to John Hughes Santa. It's John Hughes Santa chat. He's been drinking all goddamn day. He's in a shitty fucking car. He just wants to go home. And Kevin McAllister, he walks up to him. He goes, "Excuse me, Santa." He goes, "Ah." And he's like, "What's up, kid?" And he's like, listen. It's not John Hughes. It's not John Hughes. I like to think it is John Hughes, though. But he asked the not John Hughes Santa, listen, I just want, witness! Witness me! Thank you so much, Mr. Hummendinger, for the raid. I hope you had a very good stream, chat. Please do check out Mr. Hummendinger's channel. Plays a lot of the Fall Guys chat. He's in the .02 upper percentile of Fall Guys players around the world. Got a lot of wins. Chat. But his J.K. Simmons is Santa's like Klaus. So he's like an 8 foot tall giant man. But he's like, "Santa, I just wanted to ask for something for Christmas." And Santa goes, "Well, have you been good or bad?" And he's like, "Well, I've been good." And he's like, "Actually, no, I've been a piece of shit. I've been a piece of shit, Santa. I'm not a good person. I've gone through a tough time right now, and I'm realizing just the amount of work that my family puts in to help me, and it's humbled me. It's humbled me." And he goes, "Well, what do you want, kid?" And he's like, "I just want my family to have a good Christmas." He's like, "Well, that's good for you. That's a great gift. That's a great gift idea. That's good for you. Good for you. Good for you." And he's like, "You know what? I'll give you." My goddamn helper, she took all the candy canes, take them to her boyfriend. Boyfriend's eating candy canes. "I'll give you something, though." He's like, "You don't have to." He's like, "No, I'm going to give you something. Takes out these fucking Tic Tacs. He's like, "Yeah, put your paw. He's like, "Okay." He gives him like 3 mint Tic Tacs. "There you go, kid." He's like, "Thank you." and he walks away. But he still feels sad, chat. And he goes to the church. He goes to the Christmas Eve, chat. Goes there and he sits down in the pew. They got like the choir playing. Shit, it's very beautiful. Holy Night, Silent Night, all that jazz. And he sits down there, and then, chat, he feels the shadow upon his small body, and it's the old man, chat. It's the old man, and he goes, and the old man goes, "Hello, may I sit down next to you?" And Macaulay Culkin's like, yeah, you can." He's like, "Thank you." And he's asking, it's like, "Listen, when you see me, you don't have to scream and yell and run away from me. You could just say hello." He's like, I'm sorry. I've heard things." And the old man goes, I know that there's some rumors around the neighborhood that go around, but I can assure you that none of them are true." And he's like, "I hope you're having a good Christmas." And Macaulay Culkin's like, "It's all right. Thank you, sir." And right before he goes to church, he stops and looks at a house having a Christmas. That's it. And if you look close, you can see my old brother's little baby in there. Look at that shit. Little fact. Little fun fact there, Chi. You can see a Chris Ayres' older baby brother right in there, smack dab in that window, chat, being showcased by Christopher Columbus. But he's sitting down there with the old man, and Kevin's like, Christmas is, it's all right. It's stressful time. He's the old man's, "I understand that." He's like, "How's your Christmas been going?" He's like, "It's okay. I'm here to see my granddaughter. She's in the choir." They see this little girl in the choir. She's, singing and all that. And I don't often get to see her. And Macaulay Culkin's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, her father doesn't want to see me, my son." And Macaulay Culkin's like, "Why doesn't your son want to see you? What happened between you? Did you get in a fight?" And he's like, "We did get into a fight, an argument. And many years ago, I told him I wouldn't care to see him ever again. And he said the same, and haven't spoken since, haven't spoken in years." And Macaulay Culkin's like, "Well, maybe you should talk to your son." He's like, "I'm afraid to talk to him." And Macaulay Culkin's like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, I'm afraid he won't want to talk to me." And Macaulay Culkin stops and goes, "That's fucking stupid." You're afraid to talk to him because he might not talk to you. He's like, "You know what? You should just fucking do it. Just fucking talk to him. And if he doesn't want to talk to you, then at least you did it. At least you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be scared about it." And he's like, you speak wisely, young Kevin McAllister." He's like, I know. I'm smart for I'm fucking mature for my age." And Kevin, he's imbued, chat, with the courage and the maturity that he needs for the task at hand, for the conflict that he will soon face. And he gets up because he's getting late. And I must prepare for the end times. And, he offers his hand to the old man. The old man takes his hand. They have a nice platonic handshake. And he goes, "Thank you, sir. I hope everything works out with your son." And he's like, "Thank you, Kevin. I hope everything works out with your battle between Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern." He's like, "I hope so, too. I may die tonight. I may need you as a deus ex machina later on in the film." The old man said, "Yes, I'll be there." It's excellent. And he goes off, chat. He's like, "I got to prepare to defend the fucking homestead, chat." And he starts setting up all these goddamn traps, chat. All these traps. all these traps for Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, Chad. He fucking wets the front steps and the back steps, Chad, in the basement, everything, the porch that are slick with ice. He creates a grapple system between his treehouse and his home, Chad. Lays down his micro machines so they would slip. Heats certain door handles, Chad. When they would grab onto them, it would burn their hands. He creates these like Ewok-esque paint can swings so it hits their heads, Chad. They will blow up like an ATST. He's setting this all up in the house, Chad, preparing for the conflict ahead, Chad. Lays down in the basement tar, Chad, so their feet would stick, and nails so they would be embedded in their feet. Just really, he creates a jigsaw saw scenario for these guys. This is Jigsaw the earlier shit. All this stuff could kill somebody. All this stuff can kill somebody, Chad. It's very frightening. And so then he then prepares a dinner for himself, which again, too much dairy. He's like, I'm gonna spoil myself. He prepares himself some microwavable macaroni and cheese, chat, and a fucking goblet of milk. And it's like, that is just too much cheese, too much dairy. It's like, every time I see it, I was like, oh God, my God, you won't be able to shit for a week. And he starts praying to Jesus. He's like, Jesus, please give me the strength to murder these two middle-aged men. Amen, chat. But oh no, and then the answer is fucking prayer, chat. Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci, they have arrived. They filled up their tummies. They had a nice little dinner, chat. And now they're set to burglarize things, chat. And they're going to make their way to the fucking house. They make their way to the house, chat. And so Joe Pesci's there. Joe Pesci deals, so they get out of the car. And listen. They're like, okay, let's go to the back of the house. Go to the back of the house. They go to the back of the house, chat. And fucking Macaulay Culkin, he's getting ready. He's getting ready. He has his big brother's Buzz's BB gun. He's like, I'm going to use this if I have to. And so Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci, they're at the back of the house. They start knocking the door. And they go, listen, kid, we know you're in there, right? It's Santa Claus. And his elf, his helper. He's like, just let us in. We're going to give you all the presents you want, okay? And Macaulay Culkin, he sees the little doggy door, cat door, chat, and he sticks out the BB gun. Sticks out the fucking gun, chat, outside a little thing, right into the crotch of Joe Pesci, chat, and he fires that. And right at the start, chat, it obliterates Joe Pesci's ball and peen, chat. Boom, takes them both out. All three things, chat. The sack and the peen. And so now, chat, he is Ken doll smooth down. He's like, ah! And he's just screaming his fucking head out. He's like, oh my God, there's blood everywhere. It's a massacre. It's like, Jesus Christ. Again, he hardened his heart, chat. And he completely took out everything down there, chat. And Joe Pesci's like, he fucking took my balls, man. He took them both out, motherfuck you. Daniel Stern's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? He's just so scared. And Daniel Stern is like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? He's just like, fucking just get him. Just fucking kill him, man. And so Daniel Stern, he does the decision. He makes the decision to stick his fucking face through the doggy door, chat. And he's confronted with the barrel of a gun, chat, the fucking BB gun. And Daniel Stern's like, hi. And Kevin's like, hello. And fires at him, chat. Hits him in the fucking eye. Takes out his eye. Ah! And he's just bleeding now. And so now he's down one eye. And Joe Pesci is down a ball sack, chat, a scrotum, and a peen. Now, not good for them. At this point, you would leave. My peen is gone. You would leave at this point, chat. It's like, this is not a good scenario. But he's like, no, fuck this. No, we're gonna do it. And so Joe Pesci's like, I'm gonna shovel what's left of it and hold it inside me. I'm gonna go to the front of the house and go through the front door. You go down through the basement. And so they both do that, chat. The thing is, though, the steps at the front of the house, chat, they're all slippery. So Joe Pesci, as soon as he steps on there, slips on his back, fucking concusses himself, chat. And so as you all know, vision is in the back of your head, chat. That's when you fall on your head, you see spots and black spots. You can actually, your sense of sight, chat, can be damaged, either for a good amount of time or permanently, depending on how you hit your head. Like, I've known people. I knew a guy who slipped on some ice and hit his head on the side of a side of the road, shed, like this concrete thing, you have on the side, like right between the sidewalk and the road itself, you had that little concrete barrier. Hit his head on that, shed, and he was blind for over a week because he damaged the back of his head so much he couldn't see anything. It was very scary. He got the curb. Thank you, Mr. Armstrong, the curb. He damaged his head so significantly that he was blind for a week, and he got better. He was fine, but it can really fuck you up. So that's what happened to Joe Pesci. She's like, nah, he's in a horrific pain. We also cut back to Daniel Stern chat, and he's going down the basement. But as we know, fucking Kevin, he made sure all the stairs were slick with ice too, and he falls down the chat, just boom, boom, boom. But thankfully, Daniel Stern did the right thing, chat. He kind of stops himself a little bit, and he falls on his side, so he doesn't fall on the back of his head. Thank you, show, for the 10 minutes. My heart's a pitter-patter in chat. Thank you so much, show. Woo. Condition is indeed in. Thank you, show. And so he's like, it's bad, though, because he's slipping and sliding there. He's trying to get a grip on the door down there, but he can't. He keeps falling and sliding, just he can't maintain his balance. Thank you. Dark Side of the 5 It's amazing how resilient yet fragile we are. No, we are water flesh sacks with bones. That's all we are, chat. We have bones, we have water, and we have meat. That's all we are. When you think about it, we could get fucked up bad. But while this is all happening, chat, we cut back to Joe Pesci. He's recovering. He's using the railing to get up the stairs and everything. Still, but then when he gets to the top, chat, another misstep, because the topmost step is the slickest. Falls back down, chat, hits his head again, and he concusses himself, chat. He goes unconscious for a little bit. And it's just terrible. It's just goddamn terrible. Eventually, though, Daniel Stern, he does get into the basement. And he's like, Harry, I'm in. Like, he did actually get in, chat. And he's going around there. But then he sees some, chat. He trips over like a wire. He's laid down an invisible wire, chat. And he's like, what the fuck was that? And it sets off something, chat. And something from above is coming towards him, chat. We cut up to the kitchen area. And we see that the iron, it was precariously placed after the wire. If the wire is touched it, it's going to fall down. And so Daniel Stern looks up, and this fucking iron just goes boom right on top of his head, chat. Now, if this hit him, he would be dead. He would be dead. Fucking just would cave in his head, chat. His other guts, his other good eye. So now he's like really fucked up and derpy. And you have like a big fucking, it was hot too. Like he plugged it in, chat. And so it was releasing the wall. It was like a hot iron just hitting you in the fucking face. And it's like, and he's concussed now, and he knocks himself out. We then cut back to Joe Pesci, who's not doing great, Chad. He's fallen over. He has no ball and pee anymore, and he's been concussed twice. Thankfully, he has come to. He manages to get back up to the stairs, Chad, and he's like, shit. But he doesn't notice, Chad, you should see this. I mean, you would probably feel it before you would see it. Kevin has put a burner on top of the doorknob on the other side. And so it's superheating the doorknob. And so Joe Pesci, he grabs the doorknob, and it's like molten. His flesh begins to blister and then melt off his very head. He's like, ah! And he runs off. He slips down the goddamn stairs again, and it's like the Nazi. It's like the Nazi guy, Tote, in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he grabs the top of the medallion, which they used to find the Ark of the Covenant. It's like he grabs the same thing, Chad, and he shoves his hand in the snow, and it comes out, Chad, in bed, and he'll always have this. They reference it in Home Alone 2. The M of McAllister is always embedded in his hand. So he's like, fuck, he'll never forget this, Chad. Every time he thinks back to this, he'll always remember, like, that fucking kid. This fucking kid did this to me, Chad. Like, I have a similar situation to Joe Pesci, Chad. As I told you, I was nearly blinded in my youth by I'm not joking. I was nearly blinded in my youth by an insane child, Chad, in the second grade, where this kid blinded a girl next to me and took out her one eye with a pencil, and then moved over to me like this, about to stab me, and I blocked it with my hand, Chad, and in my hand, I don't know if you can probably see it, but there's a piece of graphite still in there. To this day, Chad. So the fucking hand, just horrors, it always scares me, Chad. Anything that deals with like hand, violence is like, ooh, Jesus Christ. So it's fucked up. But eventually, the Daniel Stern, he comes to, even though he's been severely concussed, Chad, and he just makes his way over to the stairs, Chad, but they've all been lathered. In tar. And so every time he puts his feet down, Chad, his shoe gets stuck, his other shoe gets stuck, his socks get stuck, Chad. And so he's just walking barefoot up the goddamn stairs, Chad. Little does he know that Kevin McAllister has lined one of the stairs with nails, Chad, sticking up. And so, he's walking, Chad, just putting his feet down hard, and he goes, and he steps right on the fucking nail, Chad, and embeds itself in his foot, and the hot molten tar also glues it in there, Chad. So it's like, that's not good. And he falls back, Chad, falls back down. Thank you, by the way, to Judge for the 5 biddies. One-eyed Herman. I could have been One-eyed Herman. It's true. I could, but I just sacrificed my hand. So there's that little piece of graphite in there. I'll sacrifice my hand over my eye. But then he falls back down, and Joe Pesci, he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to go back around to the other side of the house, go through the doggy door area. He's just like, fuck, I don't care anymore. And he kicks in the goddamn, like he opens the door, kicks in the goddamn door. She's like, where are you, little shit? Where the fuck are you? And he's just trying to get him, chat. And he goes through this one door, chat, out of the kitchen, opens it, and the fucking blowtorch, goddamn, oh no, that's what happened. I'm sorry, I'm confusing the chat. He does get in through the front door. He does get in through the front door first. He opens it, but Kevin McAllister has set up a blowtorch above him that now activates like a flamethrower, so he picks his head on. It sets his fucking head on fire. Ah! And so now he's running around the goddamn outside of the house, chat, screaming, chat, because his head's on fire, and he shoves his head into the snow. He's like, and we see Chad like the broken, blackened flesh, chat, that from the fire. It's just like, he's like, these guys get fucked up. What happens? It's terrible. He's just fucking screaming his goddamn lungs out, chat. He's like, but eventually he's like, all right, fuck it. And he goes through, then he comes around the house, chat, and he goes to the dog door, just kicks open the goddamn door. Just so frustrated at this point. And Kevin's running away. He's like, you can't get me, haha, just fucking with him. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And he goes through one door, chat, and he gets like all this sticky wrap gets stuck on him. He's like, what the fuck is this? It's not too bad. It's the least painful things he's encountered so far, chat, but he's all sticky now. He's like, what? And he goes to another door, chat, and this fucking giant pillow of feathers just erupts at him, and he's just covered in feathers. He's literally been tarred and feathered, chat. Meanwhile, we cut back to Daniel Stern. He's like, fuck it, I ain't going up these stairs anymore. And he goes through the other area of the house, chat, through an open window he sees. And him being an idiot, chat, just like, I'm just going to go put my feet down without looking when I'm stepping. You'd think he would learn ahead of time. Daniel Stern does not. And he starts smashing all these ornaments with his feet, and the glass is now embedded in his feet, chat. It's like Die Hard. This is Daniel Stern's Die Hard, chat, except he doesn't make it out, sadly. He's not better for it. And he's just stepping around. He's like, and eventually, him and Joe Pesci, they meet in the foyer, chat, where Daniel Stern's like, what happened to you? And Joe Pesci's like, Daniel Stern, where are your shoes? He's like, why do you look like a chicken? And then, chat, we hear him from the top of the fucking stairs. Macaulay Culkin's like, how's your night going, boys? Like, you little fucking shit. I'm tired of you. I'm fucking tired of you. He's like, you want some more? Come and fucking get me. And they're like, oh! And so they start marching up the goddamn stairs, chat. And then Macaulay Culkin, he launches the paint cans that are tied to these fucking pieces of rope. And it goes ram. And Joe Pesci's like, oh, shit. He dives out of the way, but fucking hits Daniel Stern right in the head, chat, and he fucking falls down the goddamn stairs. He's like, Daniel Stern! And Daniel Stern's like, nah, and he's like bleeding, chat, like cracked his goddamn skull open. But then Macaulay Culkin launches another one, and then it hits fucking Joe Pesci in the back of the head, chat, which you already know his vision is fucked up at this point. He can barely see anything because of the concussions that he suffered earlier in the movie. And he falls down on top of fucking Daniel Stern, and they're like, ooh, they are just so infuriated by what's going on. Thank you, everyone, for the 50 biddies. Have you seen the video they had McKenna list off all the injuries the wet bands would have had? Yes, it's so funny. Home Alone 1 and 2, he used to say they would have died before the end of the house. Yes, they would have died. That's true. They'd all be fucking dead. But they're like, okay, we got to get this fucking kid. And so they chase him up the goddamn stairs, chat, just trying to get him. And he unleashes more of the paint can, chat, misses Daniel Stern, hits fucking Joe Pesci in the face. Joe Pesci, he fucking falls down. Daniel Stern, his feet are so fucked up, he falls over, and he tries to go for Kevin. She's just, come here, little shit, just grabbing him legs and shit, and Kevin's just like smashing his fingers, chat, like over and over and over again until they're all broken and mangled. He's like, and then, but he still grab a hold of him, chat, because his broken fingers are like stuck in Kevin's belt loop, chat, so he can't even free himself if he wanted to. And Kevin, he sees that Buzz's tarantula has gotten out. And by the way, yeah, Kevin fucked up Buzz's room earlier for these firecrackers. And it like destroyed the entire, like his brother's shelf. And it all came crashing down and the spider escaped. But he sees the spider, he takes the spider, and he puts it on Daniel Stern's face. Daniel Stern's like, ah! So he's arachnophobia now, chat. And he starts freaking out. He's like, ah! Starts screaming. Well, Kevin runs up into the attic. Eventually, Daniel Stern's like, and the spider, he actually flicks the spider onto Joe Pesci, who is severely concussed, can barely see anything at this point, chat. And he's like crawling on Joe Pesci. Daniel Stern gets up, and his fingers are all fucked up at this point, chat. They're just bending in every direction, just like he's got like meat patties for hands now. And Joe Pesci comes to, and he's like, Daniel Stern, is that you? And he's just like, Daniel Stern's like, he has the crowbar raised above his head. He's like, Daniel, no! And he just starts fucking whacking Joe Pesci with it, where he sees the spider, chat, but the spider moves out of the way. She just hits fucking Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci's like, stop it! And he breaks his ribs. And so, no, Joe Pesci can barely fucking breathe at this point. Oh, it's a mess. And at this point, he's like, he just grabs, he's like, how do you fucking like it? He starts hitting Daniel Stern with the fucking crowbar. He's like, he went up there, let's go fucking get him. And they go upstairs, chat. But then, as we all know, chat, Macaulay Culkin has set up a grappling hook pulley system from the attic to his treehouse. And he launches himself after it. She's like, oh! And he gets over there, thankfully, safely, chat. He does indeed make it. Nearly takes down the treehouse, but he does make it. And he gets off of there. And I love, this is a great line. This is when it gets really fucking dark, where Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci are like, where the fuck did he go? And they look out the window, and Daniel Stern goes, maybe he committed suicide. It's like, what? He's like, hey, guys, had enough yet? Pretty much. And, but then they see he's in the clubhouse. He's like, hey, guys, you doing okay? You want to come and get me still? And they're like, you little motherfucker. And at this point, I mean, they're stupid for doing this. They're like, we're just going to travel across the rope to the clubhouse, which even though they're like 3 stories in the air, that's serious injuries. And so this is dumb. So they deserve this. Macaulay Culkin gets him like about midway through, and then he gets these like tree cutters. He's like, oh shit, and he cuts the rope. He's like, no, go back. But there's not enough time. So he cuts the fucking rope, and it swings. And Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, boom, they hit the goddamn brick side of the brick house, chat. And they're really fun. They fall on top of each other, just in horrific pain, chat. Broken bones, horrifically mangled feet, mangled fingers, burned flesh. Joe Pesci doesn't have a balls or peen anymore, chat. It's not a good night for them. And Kevin McAllister, he's like, I got to go over to the next house. He runs over to the next house. He calls the police, too. He does call the police. And so someone's breaking in my house. And he goes over there, chat. And he goes through their basement, up the stairs. It's one of the Wet Bandits' his previous house that they burglarized, chat. The whole fucking house is flooding and shit. But he's going up the stairs trying to lose them. But oh no, they fucking cut him out, shit. They confront him inside the house. And they just grab the little shit and they hang him on a fucking hook. And they just start basically explaining all the ways that they want to hurt him. And like there's like it's like, oh, we're gonna blow towards your head, we're gonna blow towards your hair off, yeah, we're gonna make sure to stick nails in your foot and in between your toes and cover you in molten tar and feathers. And then Joe Pesci, this is an improvised line by him, and it's fucked up. He's like, but first I'm gonna bite off every single one of these little fingers. This is like, holy shit. And he's like, and he put he put goddamn Macaulay Culkin's fingers in his mouth. It was like, oh shit. But then, chat, there is a savior, chat. Remember that Deus Ex Machina, chat? The old man Murphy? He walks in there, chat, and he has his trusty shovel, and he just starts bludgeoning Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci, chat, just over and over and over again until they just stop moving, chat. And so he's just covered in blood and viscera, and Macaulay Culkin's covered in blood and viscera. And then, Macaulay Culkin realizes, like, this is what I have to do. This needs to be my life's work, chat. And this is when it's established that this is indeed a Saw prequel, chat. This is the beginnings of Jigsaw. He's like, I must make people appreciate their lives, but I must put them through agonizing torture because I get off to it. And so the old man lets him down. They fucking hug and just have all this bloody mass on him. Chat, it's disgusting. And he leaves. And Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern are arrested, chat. The old man explains everything that's been going on. Apparently, they figure out that, we know every house you burglarized because of the Wet Bandits thing. Joe Pesci's like, fuck. He's very mad about this. Also, he realizes his tooth is missing because we got hit with that one paint can, chat. His tooth is missing. It's somewhere on the Macaulay Culkin, Kevin McAllister residence. So he's like, fuck. And they're taking the jail. They're taking the jail until the 1992 sequel when they escape. And then this is weird because then Kevin is like, I guess it's several days later, and Kevin McAllister manages to clean up the home completely. Like everything with the exception of one room. But I don't know how he did this shit. Despite all the fucking damage that was caused. Did he call a fucking contractor to help with when they broke through the goddamn door? I guess he did. But he totally cleans up the whole home, chat. Make sure that all the contracting is done, everything. And he's just there. And the one thing he wants more than anything, chat, is just to see his family. I just want to see his family. And then who fucking shows up, chat? After they drop her off, the polka band drops her off, chat, right in front of her house, and we wave goodbye to John. She's like, thank you, John Candy. Thank you, Polka King of the Midwest. And they go on their fucking merry way. And then the fucking Mrs. McAllister, she bursts in the goddamn house. She's like, Kevin. And he goes, Mom. And they embrace, chat. They hug in the foyer. And they're loving it. She's like, I love you so much, Mom. I'm sorry for wishing you away. She's like, I'm sorry for abandoning you for like several days by yourself. And they're hugging, chat. And then This is what's really a big fuck you to Kevin McAllister's mom. Who walks in immediately after her? The fucking family chat. Like the dad said, we should just wait for a direct flight back to Paris to Chicago. That's what we need to do. And so they managed to arrive at the exact same time the mom did, chat. So stupid. And they're all fucking hugging Kevin. They're like, hey, we sorry we left you here. He's like, no, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Even Buzz, like, you know what, kid? You did good. You did good. Funny enough, Kevin does not mention what happened. He does not mention Joe Pesci or Daniel Stern at all in any capacity, chat. Does not reveal that, which is weird. You think he would reveal that? They're going to go to that kid. They're going to make a police report and everything. They're going to interview, but he doesn't do it. Eventually, chat, the whole family's there unpacking everything. They're going to order some food and stuff. And Kevin McAllister goes up to his room, and he looks out, chat. He looks out. And what is this? This is a heartwarming moment in the movie. I really like this moment. Where we see the old man Murray, or old man Slenderman, chat. He is talking to his son, chat, and they end up hugging. They haven't seen each other in so long, in years, haven't talked to each other in years. And he looks down at his granddaughter, and she hugs him, and he holds her up like this, chat. And him and fucking Macaulay Culkin, they make eye contact. They make eye, and you're like, hey, man. Fuck, thank you, Macaulay Culkin. Thank you, old man, Slenderman Murray. And they go and they're holding hands. The whole family holds hands, chat, and they go inside the old man's house, chat, to celebrate Christmas Day together. And then, chat, we hear Buzz in the background. It's like, Kevin, what the fuck did you do to my room? And he goes, oh, shit, I forgot to clean up that room. And then he runs off, chat. He runs off to face the wrath of his brother. And that, my friends, is the 1990 John Hughes produced, Christopher Columbus directed, Macaulay Culkin starring holiday feature film, Home Alone. I hope you indeed enjoyed it, chat. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget the old man next door. I remember Chuckle Man. I remember. I'm never going to forget that. That's a heartwarming fucking moment. Applause. Applause, yes. You guys saw the movie at the end as the weird creeper ends the movie as the motion heartbeat. He is. He really does. He's a great character. I love his scenes of Macaulay Culkin. Actually, that church scene was really good. But Carizian, speaking of John Hughes films, have you reviewed Uncle Buck? I want to. I have reviewed Breakfast Club. Or Ferris Bueller. I've reviewed Breakfast Club. I will do Uncle Buck and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. My favorite one is Uncle Buck. Wow-wee-wee. Thunderly Graves, thank you so much. 10 months subscribed. Thank you. Sir Juicy Herman Bowser, thank you. No, thank you for practicing that fealty. I admire that. I appreciate that. Welcome. You are one with the Revenites yet again, Thunderly. Happy to have you here. Happy to have you. But chat, overall, no, listen. This is a great family film, great Christmas film. This is indeed a classic, chat. It is, it's funny, this is a retro film now since it's over 20 years old, chat. This movie is 30 years old. It's crazy to think about that. But no, it's thoroughly great. It's perfect for kids, perfect for adults. Macaulay Culkin does. I mean, there's some still to dolly from Macaulay Culkin, but again, he's a young kid at this point. But he has a lot. What he does, chat, he sells it with his charisma. He sells a lot of these lines with his charisma and his little antics. The third act in this movie is wonderful. How he just fucks up Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci for 35 minutes. It's absolutely incredible to see. I love it. And every time the next trap was even worse than the last one. It was great. I mean, he fucks these guys up, and I love it so much. I'll give it that points for that. No doubt about it. But no, it's a thoroughly enjoyable movie with fun performances all around. Great score. Also, I forgot how good the score is in this movie. I think did John Williams do the score for this? Felt like it was John. I thought this feels like a John Williams score. So he did the score as well. No, it's great. So, Chad, if you have not seen Home Alone before, you haven't seen it in a long time, do yourself a favor and check this out. This movie is on Disney Plus right now, along with all the other films. I believe the only one you really need to see is the first one. But you want to check out the second one, then be my guest. I haven't even seen the second one in years. Maybe I'll do a review for that one someday. But highly recommend checking this out, chat. I would give this a full price. This is a definition of a full price film, chat. Good all around. Ooh, and thank you to Berserker Fate Darkness for the follow. You're my new Huckleberry. Welcome to stream. Thank you, Alex, for I hope seriously, I hope you guys really enjoyed the review. This was a fun one to do, chat. It's good. I enjoy doing both good movies and bad movies, chat. There's a lot of good material here to mine, especially that last 30 minutes. I love it. So goddamn fun. So start, but insane. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of slow. It's like, all right, it's a little shitty kid and taking care of himself. But the ending is what sells the movie, really. I agree. Third Home Alone trap. I think, is that the one with where he had the nuclear launch codes or something? Is that what it was? Raving Bob? I'm trying to remember. I remember that there were these 4 professional thieves who try to, or they're terrorists or something, and he fucks them up. But it doesn't. Aren't they trying to steal like nuclear launch codes? What the Russian? Is that the Russian villains? That's right. Young Scarlett Johansson wasn't Home Alone 3. That's correct. See, espionage. That was the one. And 4. I don't remember anything about 4. Was 4 also Kevin McAllister? I don't remember. Nuclear launch codes in a torture. That's it. Mm-hmm. Here's your Fake Darkness. I enjoy the reviews. Thank you. No, I really appreciate that. I'm going to be doing another review tonight. We'll be doing Gravity Falls Episode 7 in just a bit. AJ Daniels against everybody's. I don't know if I'm in the morning, but Home Alone 2 might be better than 1. Oh. I haven't seen it in a very long time. Maybe I'll do a review for that one in the future. I just haven't seen it so long. 4 had Kevin, but it was a different cat. Oh, interesting. Huh. Watching this movie, one part made a significantly different impression. When Kevin knows he might not survive the night, so he asks Santa for his family back and goes to church, trying to make amends for his mistakes. I know, erasing the fake kind of epic. It is. No, it's like I might die. I want to ask for forgiveness and I want my family back. I want to be a better person. It's pretty goddamn cool. Look, she's like, I might not make it tonight. Yeah, it's like a Last Stand movie. Honestly, Chad, it is a siege movie. I love siege movies. The last 30 minutes of this movie is a siege movie. It's assault on Precinct 13 for kids, which I love. Which also a great movie, Chad. One of John Carpenter's original first films. I think it was the second movie, matter of fact. Check that one out. Ricky Nuggets, Gravity Falls with my son really brought us together. Nice. It's a great show to watch with your kids. Enjoy. Yeah, you know, it's that kind of wonderful cartoon where it appeals both to adults and children. Totally agree with you, Ricky Nuggets. I'm going to be doing episode 7 tonight. But chat, it's Tower Defense for Kids, Assault on Children 13. I love that. But chat, I will go ahead and freshen up my beverage. In the meantime, please entertain yourselves amongst yourselves, and I shall return with more whiskey. With more review juice.